Hello, everyone. It's Charlton. Please subscribe to my channel. Tap the notification bell and like this video for me. That helps me. That helps me to keep making videos, and I would appreciate it majorly. YouTube's going crazy. There's something major for sure going on. Everything has come to a complete screeching halt. Not that I was doing great before. There's something continuously. Toying with my channel, stopping my channel. I see other channels that just skyrocket off of content that whatever. But you know what am I going to do? So help me out and subscribe to my channel. So I wanted to go over some of the latest, newest and latest details on the Dominican Republic, the recent tourist deaths, the mysterious deaths. You know, the death count, I think, was up to 9 in terms of the number of deaths reported on. Many of them recent, some of them in 2018, with a lot of similarities in terms of how they died, the cause of death, heart attack. Heart attack always seems to be heart attack and pulmonary edema, fluid in the lungs. There's 2 more deaths where family members have come forward to Fox, and Fox, I think, got confirmation from the State Department that these 2 people did die. Their family members spoke to Fox. One of them is in 2018. Another one is from 2016. But I think I believe both of them died of heart attack, to the best of my knowledge. I'll try to get through them. One is very recent, though, and the woman just passed away on Tuesday after having returned from the Dominican Republic and falling ill when, I believe upon coming home. I don't know how soon she fell ill after returning from the Dominican Republic, but she died of pulmonary edema, to the best of my knowledge, at least. There's very little reported on her. Let me just quickly, I'm going to try to cruise through this stuff. There was a press conference this morning, Friday. It just wrapped up a little bit ago. It was over an hour long with the tourist minister who's been, in many media reports on this story. And many of the Dominican Republic's officials are pushing back on the reporting on this, and they're basically saying that it's just hysteria, that, based on the number of people that visit the Dominican Republic, particularly from the United States, 2.7 million, I believe, is the number annually, that, you're just going to have a certain percentage of those that unfortunately die. And they call it fake news and stuff like that. But they were supposed to they did give a press conference this morning for over an hour, like I said. However, it was entirely in Spanish. So, all the questions were in Spanish with the exception of one. One question was asked in English, and actually the response to that was in Spanish as well. So, I actually watched or sort of kept the live feed on for the entire hour, over an hour, hoping that at the end maybe somebody would give a brief explanation. It'll be some time before there's reporting on exactly what was said. But he had documents there. And I believe he had autopsy reports for the 9 deaths that have been reported in the media at various hotels. I'm not sure if I mentioned the hotels in question. Hopefully I did. I've made a couple attempts at this video because, like I said, there's so many different incidents. It's difficult to keep up. I stopped at this individual, Joseph Allen, the dude from New Jersey, who I'm not sure his cause of death, to be honest with you. I believe it was a heart attack, but I don't know. I think he was found in his hotel room. I want to say he was staying at the Excellence, which is in the northern part of the island. In fact, I'll pull it up, man. I know that's in the Daily Mail article. They give a little brief map of it. Even I think there may be an error on it. I paid pretty close attention to the story, up to a point, and was just watching it from a distance since my last video. I don't know who this individual is, Jerry Cran, and these 2, Susan Simone. That might be the very most recent woman from Louisiana, which is reported, died on Tuesday. A Louisiana woman died less than a week after returning from her honeymoon in the Dominican Republic, making her the 10th U.S. tourist to die after visiting the Dominican Republic. It was supposed to be a trip of a lifetime. Susan Simone. So that's who that is. Susan Simone, right there. I don't know who Mark hurlbut is. I'm not sure. So, but back to this woman very quickly. That's all they say is less than a week after returning home from the Dominican Republic, Simone was rushed to the hospital with fluid in her lungs, and she died on Tuesday. Her husband said he did not know that at least 9 other Americans had died while visiting the Dominican Republic, and dozens others had fallen ill. There's a variety of stories of people of, the Jimmy Buffett group, I think from Oklahoma, I want to say. I'm not positive that they fell ill. A graduating class, I believe. It's too much. So, but that's another one. And the fluid in the lungs is what jumped out at me. We don't know much more than that. The other two that, just came forward and reported to Fox, but New York Post kind of makes it a little bit briefer and easy to communicate to you. 2 more Americans, a man from Kansas, and he's only 41 years old. And according to one of his friends who was part of the Fox report, was healthy as a horse. He's a former veteran. And a woman from Pennsylvania died during vacations in the Dominican Republic amid a recent spate of tourist deaths in the country, according to a new report. The families of Chris Palmer, a 41-year-old Army veteran from Kansas who died on April 8th, 2018, and Barbara Diane Masser Mitchell, a 69-year-old retired nurse from Pennsylvania who died on September 17, 2016. Both Palmer and Masser Mitchell died of heart attacks, according to official determinations by the Dominican authorities. Palmer was staying at the Villa Cocotal Palmer Resort in Punta Cana, according to Fox News. He'd been working at a Mexico resort went to the Dominican Republic in hopes of selling timeshares and teaching scuba diving there. It says at some point during his stay, Palmer told his friends he had a bad headache. Palmer told the outlet. Palmer is one of the family members. And reports given to Palmer's family obtained by the outlet, Dominican authorities said that he had pulmonary edema. Heart attack and pulmonary edema. But those who knew him feared that wasn't the whole story. As soon as he died, I wondered if he was poisoned. He was found dead in his room after aspirating on his own vomit, Dominican authorities said. Like many others whose relatives have recently died in the country, Palmer's loved ones said they felt pressured to get his body cremated. I've seen at least 2 reports where family members have said similar things, and the bodies were cremated, so that nothing can be done at this point. I mean, the odds of exhuming a body, even if they weren't, I don't know if that would be done. Who knows? So Masser Mitchell, I don't want to go over every single instance, but they both died of heart attacks, and he died of heart attack with pulmonary edema. Not sure if one causes the other or what, but that seems to be a common thing. So one of the other things that I saw was most recently reported is because these 2, I mean, it's 2 persons dying, being found. In all these other cases, that's where I think this sort of began the chain reaction of people starting to look into it as something's wrong, because you have 2 people that were found dead in their hotel room. That's the odds of that randomly happening, and not being, being natural causes of 2 people dying at the exact same time is almost impossible. Okay, so but one of the explanation they're giving, they're saying that the man, Nathaniel Holmes and Cynthia Day, that the man died first, and that she probably died of shock after watching her I think it was her fiancé die, which, I'd say most average persons would say that's a pretty ridiculous explanation, to be painfully blunt. I mean it just is. I think anyone. Is that even possible to die of shock? And then in this, this is also reported by Fox News, but the Post, I think, has somebody down there as well. They've been reporting on this a ton, and they abbreviate things a bit for me, and I have so much to go over, so I have to do that for time purposes. They seem to, deflect the blame onto them, which is a common thing. The Dominican Republic officials, of pointing to previous health issues with other persons, heart issues and stuff like that, you know. But it says the Dominican Republic health officials say the Maryland woman found dead last month with her fiancé in a hotel room likely died from the shock of seeing her partner dead. Ministry of Public Health spokesman Carlos Suero insisted that the Caribbean country shouldn't be blamed for the series of tourist deaths on the island, which includes Cynthia Day and fiancé Nathaniel Holmes. Suero claimed that Holmes died, then Day followed, probably from shock of seeing the person beside her dead. They were a special case as far as U.S. tourists, Suero told Fox News on Wednesday. They were a special medical case. The couple's bodies were discovered May 30th in their hotel room at the Grand Bahia Principe La Romana. There were many, this is Suero talking about them. I'm sorry, let me back up. The couple's bodies were discovered May 30th in their hotel room at the Grand Bahia Principe La Romana resort. Bottles of medication to treat high blood pressure reportedly were also recovered. There were many bottles of prescription medication in their rooms, Suero said. They practically carried around a pharmacy with them. They had pills for blood pressure, for their heart. They had antidepressants. When you get on an airplane and travel with all that medical baggage, this can happen. Both their autopsies indicated they died from respiratory failure and pulmonary edema. So the couple's family, however, said they plan to have second autopsies performed in the United States. You know, that's pretty much the latest. You know, again, the officials representing the Dominican Republic claim all the American tourists who have died in the country over the past year passed away from natural causes and say the report to contrary are nothing more than manufactured hysteria. A spokesman for the Ministry of Health told Fox News Wednesday that both preliminary and final autopsy reports of 9 U.S. citizens who recently died at resorts on the island indicate there were no mysterious circumstances surrounding the deaths, despite reports that several victims consumed drinks from the hotel minibars. The FBI is testing, you know, assisting in the investigation. I believe they were taking a look at the possibility that some alcohol might be tainted, and that, you know, we're looking at the minibar. It's not clear to me how many deaths they're investigating. I've seen 3, which would be these 2 that I just discussed, the couple at the Bahia Principe La Romana, and also Miranda Shop Werner at the Bahia Principe Bougainville, which is the neighboring sister hotel next door. But I've seen reports that they were investigating 6 deaths, but I'm not positive of that. The official went on to say, all the hysteria against the Dominican Republic to hurt our tourism, spokesman Carlos Suero told the outlet. This is a very competitive industry, and we get millions of tourists. We are a popular destination. People are taking aim at us. Suero said the government's inspectors tested resorts for any possible links to the slew of reported tourist deaths, but could not find anything out of compliance. The testing results are all negative. Everything, the spokesman insisted. The food, the alcohol, the air is normal. There is no alteration of the alcohol. With all the tourists we get every year, we make sure we comply with international standards for everything. Suero added, people die all over the world. Unfortunately, very unfortunately for us, these tourists died here. We've had about 14 deaths last year. We had about 14 deaths last year here for U.S. tourists, and no one said a word. Now everyone is making a big deal of these. So, like I said, the FBI as quickly as possible is testing things. The FBI reportedly analyzing alcohol samples from at least one minibar at the popular Bahia Principe resort in Dominican Republic to see if hotel booze is in fact to blame for the country's recent string of tourist deaths. I think they're trying, not necessarily, I mean, I think they would start at the hotel bar, mini bars, but they're trying to see if at some point, somewhere it's, you know, it's getting a source where it got bootlegged and some contaminant got put into the booze because it was manufactured, you know, in a bootleg, you know, illegal way, and something was substituted and then it's distributed. You know, that would explain multiple hotels different circumstances, people drinking, not necessarily from the minibar, but from the bar, down at the, somewhere within the hotel, whatever. And I'm just thinking out loud. But Ministry of Health Communications Director Carlos Suero told CNN Wednesday that toxicology tests were being run on the samples to see if there's anything out of the ordinary. FBI's involvement in the case was announced last week. The Post, with law enforcement sources telling the Post that agents were collecting blood samples from those who have died under mysterious circumstances. Officials are trying to figure out whether the victims drank the resort liquor before their deaths and if the drinks had any dangerous chemicals in them. Suero told CNN that FBI was comparing the minibar samples to the blood from at least 3 of the 9 Americans who have died in the Dominican Republic over the past year. That's the 3 I mentioned: Miranda Schwab, Werner, and the couple, Nathaniel Holmes and Cynthia Day. So the victims that the federal agents chose to analyze were all found dead in their rooms at the Bahia Principe Hotel. There it is. Here's the map. So it wasn't the Excellence. It's the Terra Linda Resort. Terra Linda Resort. The dude from Jersey. I don't know his cause of death. I believe he was found in his room dead. He wasn't feeling well. I believe the report was that he was drinking at the hotel bar earlier in the evening or earlier in the afternoon. These 2 died at the hotel, the Hard Rock Hotel in Punta Cana. She was the Excellence, excuse me. Layla Cox was the Excellence in Punta Cana. She was the Bougainville, Miranda Shop Warner, the Bahia Principe, the couple at the Bahia Principe La Romana, and this woman from Philadelphia Sport. I believe her family members, she said she drank from the minibar. I want to say she died of pulmonary edema as well, but I'm not absolutely sure of that. All right, that's the story there, man. Thanks for watching my videos. Please subscribe to my channel. Give me a like down below. See you in the next video. Later, man.